Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of Congregational Humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. I'm David Breeden, Senior Minister. Welcome.
Good morning, and welcome to the online Sunday Assembly for the First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis for May 10th, 2020. I'm the Reverend Kelli Clement, one of the assistant ministers here at FUS. I'm joined online today by the Reverend Dr. David Breeden, Senior Minister, the Reverend Jim Fody, Assistant Minister, Allison Wyeth, Director of Religious Education, Barb Brooks, Music Director, music from Unitarian Universalists in the Washington, D.C. area, and an incredible tech team who is making today possible for all of us and all of you. Thank you for making the effort to be present with us wherever you are. First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis is a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. We are an intentionally and radically inclusive congregational humanist community dedicated to promoting a brave, free, and responsible search for purpose, meaning, and justice. Our theme for the month of May is Thresholds. Even as our building is closed for the duration, this congregation is active. Please be sure to carefully read the monthly newsletter and the Friday email each week. If you do, you will be in the know about activities and ways to connect. If you're not on the email list, you can sign up for it via our website, www.firstunitarian.org. The link is at the very bottom of the homepage. Our website also has lots of good information about ways to connect remotely, to learn more about the society, get contact info for our ministers and staff, and to donate to our work in the world. During assembly, be sure to take a glance at the chat windows that accompany the video streams. Rev Jim will be posting some resources there with notes about events coming up. One tech note, if you find your video and audio get out of sync, try refreshing your page. That usually does the trick. After assembly today, we'll be holding a virtual coffee hour via Zoom. Check the chat for the Zoom link. Rev Jim will divide us into smaller groups using the breakout room feature, and there will be a few suggested starter questions that can get the conversation going. This coffee hour will last about 30 minutes, and you can come and go as you wish. At noon today, we invite folks who want more information about us to join our Welcome to FUS session. You'll learn more about the Society, Unitarian Universalism, and our pathway to membership. This is an important step if you want to join FUS before our annual meeting next week. Ah, yes, the annual meeting. We are having it online next Sunday, May 17th at 11:30 a.m. Information was in the Friday email. Our board and staff have been working hard to keep the business of the congregation as normal as possible. We look forward to seeing many of you there. We will be continuing to have an online-only Sunday morning presence until we get the all clear. Thank you again for joining us.
Good morning. I'm Allison Wyeth, Director of Religious Education here at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, and I'm really glad to see you. I'm here this morning to remind everyone about our Kids and Youth add-on assembly that happens at 11:45. Where we light a chalice together, hear music and a story, and share joys and concerns in community. Also this morning, we have some fun planned. We had such a great time in April with our spring bingo that we decided to bring bingo back another time. So come, bring the bingo card I sent out to those who registered, and have some fun with us. This coming Tuesday, the 12th, we're trying out the family watch party with Netflix. There is a bit of setup to do beforehand, so please go to the link in the Friday email to let us know you're joining and get instructions on the sign up. Don't have Netflix? Just let me know. and I'll help you get it sorted out. On Thursday, the 10th through 12th grade group will meet and catch up with each other and have a meme fest where we share our favorite memes with each other across different categories and have a good time. On Friday, our K through 5th grade kids will come together, check in with one another, offer support, and of course, play. This week, we're going to try out Google's version of Loteria. It should be fun, and you might learn some Spanish. Also on Friday, our 6th through 9th grade group will meet, connect, and get their own chance to participate in a meme fest as well. As always, links, sign-ups, and information about all our meetings can be obtained from me by email. I hope to see you all very soon.
Each week when we gather, we light our chalice and share one of the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism, or one of the aspirations of our congregation. This week we light the chalice remembering the first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
Please join me in saying our congregational covenant. Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Each Sunday when we gather, whether it's in person or online, we take a few minutes to reflect on the joys, sorrows, and milestones of the human experience. We do this so that we stay in touch with our own humanity. We do this to remind ourselves of the value of a moment of stillness. And we do this so that no one among us is alone, either in celebrating joy or in facing the burdens of life. This morning, we mourn the death and celebrate the life of longtime FUS member Sally Hobbs. Sally, who had lived with dementia for a number of years, died April 22nd at the age of 93. Sally will be missed by her 4 children, her 4 grandchildren, and 1 grand dog. Sally had maintained her membership at FUS since 1966, and we extend our condolences to Sally's family at this time of grief and remembrance. And we have an update this morning from FUS member Kathleen Quinn. This past week, Kathleen's son William, her daughter-in-law Jess, and Jess's brother Johnny were all found to have COVID-19. None of the 3 has had to go to the hospital, and all 3 have been making steps toward recovery. Although it's been a frightening time, their improvement has been welcome news to Kathleen on this Mother's Day weekend, and we extend our good wishes to all for continued recovery. We now take a minute of silence to reflect on all the challenges and heartbreak going on in our lives and in our world, and to think with gratitude of those who live lives of peace, compassion, and justice. As we come out of the silence, we'll hear our traditional musical response. You're invited to sing along at home if you wish.
A friend posted this on his Facebook page a couple of weeks ago. Today marks at least 5 weeks in isolation. I've been running 2.5 miles and biking 20 miles a day, drinking 2 gallons of water. I've cut out all meat, sugar, dairy, and flour. I feel great. 0 alcohol, a healthy vegan diet, gluten-free, caffeine-free, sugar-free, and I've lost 30 pounds. I cleaned out all the closets and garage and finished half the home projects on my list. My friend continued, I don't know who posted this, but I'm really proud of them. I can't hear you laughing, but I hope you are. Oh, the ways we should on ourselves. All the things we might be doing to make ourselves better, more perfect, more streamlined, less lumpy. What if we did all the things that make us more loving, more hopeful, more human? My yoga instructor reminds me that our bodies are our constant companions throughout this life, from our entry into this world to our exit out of it. The repository of all our experiences, all of our consciousness, the home to all our hopes and dreams, memories, fears, rage, love and grief, all of it is in our precious human body. Now that we are engaged with a virus that wreaks havoc on the body, it seems apt to explore a relationship with our own, with our understanding of others, and how our first principle is a way to body justice. In her groundbreaking book, The Body is Not an Apology, Sonia Renee Taylor shares the radical notion that we should never, ever apologize for our bodies, for taking up space, for being something besides what is considered normal and right, for weight loss or weight gain, for aging, for graying, for illness, mental or physical or both, for injury, for disability, for any of it. Not only might we stop apologizing to the world, but so crucially, to stop apologizing to ourselves, forever feeling as if we are in the wrong body, with the wrong skin, the wrong shape, the wrong abilities, as if being perfect were our fault, as if there were a perfect. Now, perhaps there are some of you hearing this that never struggle with feelings of inadequacy in your body. All three of you are welcome to tune this out now if you would like to. I've known very few humans of any size who did not struggle at some point in their lives with body image issues. That's because our dissatisfaction is profitable, and whatever is profitable in this country is more important than what is human. Myself, I have lived in this body for 57 years, and it has been an infant, a toddler, a child, an adolescent, and as an adult, it has been bigger and smaller and bigger at various points. This body has danced, skied, made love, made art, made pie, made music, made memories, been pregnant, given birth, given hugs, been broken, been made whole. I live in a body that has had good health care and good nutrition throughout my life, but this is not a given for everyone, though of course it should be. You and your body can claim some of these things I did and other things my body has never done. We have each of us, each body of us. We have breathed and swallowed, coughed and cried and laughed and shaken with fear and grief and rage, and then somehow we have laughed again. We are born into this life in a body, and we go out in a body, the vessel for our consciousness that encompasses the dash between our birth date and our death date. I want to name two things that are specific to this day. In our regular schedule, before we went online for our Sunday assembly, our Chalice choir was scheduled to sing. Of all the things we can now do virtually, singing together in a room, breathing in and breathing out together, lifting our voices in song, is not one of them, and it likely will not be one of them for a very long time. Choirs, filling the air around them with music, would be considered super spreaders of the virus. Choristers are grieving, as are other kinds of ensemble music makers. And I want to name that grief and say that we miss you. And we look forward to that time when you can share the blessing of music from your body to ours. I want to say a word about Mother's Day. Here she arrives every year on a Sunday wearing a liturgical hat, beckoning us to recognize her. Mother's Day is complicated. It is every year, and especially so this year. Each year, it is someone's first Mother's Day after their mom has died, after their child has died, after a miscarriage or in the midst of infertility, or they have to navigate a day dedicated to health and wholeness of a relationship when that wasn't what they experienced, or to be childless by desire or circumstance and still bear witness to what is considered normal, considered right. Indeed, to be any version of female and having a moving target of what that means. And maybe it's a day that you just miss giving your mom a hug or wish you could. For all of these iterations of humanity on this so-called Mother's Day, we hold a tender thought. When Unitarian Julia Ward Howe wrote her Mother's Day proclamation in 1870, in response to the carnage of the American Civil War and the Franco-Prussian War, her combination of pacifism and feminism called out what war does to the body as a horrible lottery that places some sons in harm's way. In Ta-Nehisi Coates' letter to his son, recorded in Between the World and Me, he recounts over and over the threat and damage done to the Black body in this America. As much as systemic racism is a part of our economy, our national psyche, a societal building block, its effects are on the body. In this bizarre cultural moment, when plenty of pixels have been spilled about the damage COVID-19 has on our economy, our national psyche, the warp and weft of our societal fabric, we are reminded that this disease lives in our bodies, not in opinions or arguments or even in bank accounts. At the moment, we have a lottery of sickness and health, of life and death, of who is expendable. This week, I reread The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, perhaps the best-known short story in American literature. Published in the New Yorker magazine in 1948, Jackson weaves a tale of villagers engaged in an ancient and brutal rite for some unknown, sinister purpose. Through an accepted performance of roles, patriarchs of the town draw lots to see which family will draw again, which person will draw the slip of paper with the dark circle. When Tessie Hutchinson draws it, she rebels, but her words are drowned out as the stoning begins. It is a brutal story, told in a civilized voice. The loser of the lottery is not banished, not reviled, and not even given an opportunity for final words. As the narrator says, they want to finish up the business of the morning so they can get home in time for lunch. No, the damage, the sacrifice is perpetrated on the body of one randomly selected individual. And then as quickly as possible, the folks need to get back to normal. We are engaged in a similar lottery in our times, where some folks are marked for death by virtue of the year of their birth. If you were born before 1955, some say that you have lived enough of your life, and our economy needs you to make the ultimate sacrifice so we can get back to normal as quickly as possible. Some are marked for death by virtue of the neighborhood they were born into. Black, Indigenous, and other people of color are disproportionately affected by COVID-19. This is not because of some biological marker, but because systemic racism includes the way health and health care is distributed, because we have a healthcare industry rather than a wellness system in this wealthiest nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. We sacrifice some to a lottery of sickness and death so that wealthy and powerful people can increase their status. Every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets, so said American engineer and statistician W. Edward Deming. When some human bodies are systematically devalued so that others may thrive, these results shouldn't surprise us. As George Orwell wrote in Animal Farm, all animals are created equal, but some are more equal than others. The first principle of Unitarian Universalism, the affirmation and promotion of the inherent worth and dignity of every human being, is by tradition and definition without hierarchy. This broken and gasping world needs our message of love and hope like never before. If we are to engage in this great turning, this moment, we must strengthen our message of love and hope. Belief in the power of the human spirit is something we must work for, struggle for, and not allowed to be taken from us. And I'll tell you, recent weeks have tested my affirmation of the worth and dignity of some human beings in particular. Perhaps you too need to be reminded of these words. The worth and dignity of every human being. For me, it means that if I don't want anyone to suffer and die with this disease, I can't secretly hope that some folks who might be out protesting in ways that endanger everyone's lives get it. Worth and dignity, inherent worth and dignity. Sonia Renee Taylor writes, "It is through our transformed relationship with our bodies that we become champions for other bodies on the planet. When we speak of the ills of the world, violence, poverty, injustice, we are not speaking conceptually. We are talking about things that happen to our bodies." Close quote. Authoritarianism is visited on the human body. Loss of access to reproductive health care, the need for LGBTQ+ rights, the need for medical aid in dying, obscene gun rights, economic inequality, the climate crisis, the scourge of white nationalism. As Rev. Jim said this week, greed tramples over bodies as it always has. The effects of these injustices happen to bodies, ours and others, in a lottery of loss. So let us reaffirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every human body, ours, others, in a viral outbreak of love and hope. May it be so, and amen.
If you will repeat with me, please, our extinguishing chalice words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All of these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. If you enjoyed today's assembly, consider making a sustaining donation to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis and help keep the voice of Unitarian Universalist humanism alive and strong in these difficult times. You can give on the Give Plus app. You can download that at giveplus.com or at your smartphone app store, or you can give to firstunitarian.org. We would very much appreciate it. Until we meet again, be fearless, ask questions, hold on to what is good, strengthen the weak, comfort the fearful, serve the suffering, do what makes you come alive. Rejoice in the power of the human spirit. So may it be. Thanks for listening. You can find much more about humanism and what's happening at First Unitarian Society in Minneapolis by visiting our website at firstunitarian.org.